Hi, we're August and Jill, and this is our dog, Hank. I don't foresee us ever having a large home by any means.
The drawers actually have electromagnetic devices on the back of them. The whole build was designed around our bikes and having a good, safe, secure spot for them.
Will you join me? Will you roll? Make this house our tiny home.
Hi, we're August and Jill, and this is our dog, Hank. We're outside Nomad, and we'd love to introduce you to our rig, Roxy. Before this lifestyle, I was working as an X-ray tech.
I was originally a nurse, and then I transitioned to a paramedic firefighter for the city for the last 10 years. So what we're doing now financially to support ourselves is quite a bit of different things. We still do occasionally work in the medical field. We also have invested with some friends into RV parks and some other properties. This is not our first rig. In 2015, we got a Ford Transit van. We loved our Ford Transit, but we definitely maxed it out. I think the inspiration to do a box truck like this came from a couple things. I would say we wanted a little bit more space inside and a bit more capable of a chassis of a rig.
I think also knowing, the shape of a van versus a box, I think that he knew this would be an easier build in the big picture.
To do this build, it took us, I would say, a solid 3 months back home. We started in the dead of winter at 6,500 feet in snow and ice. We bought the chassis with the box put on it, including the bumpers and the roof rack. That was $140,000. The costs for the interior components were $30,000. The vehicle is an Isuzu NPR. It's a 2021. It's a GM motor 6.6, about 350 horsepower. The conversion to four-wheel drive was done by Earth Cruiser, and it's called Core. Basically everything behind the transmission is removed in terms of drivetrains. The axles, suspension, brakes, everything is pulled off, and then it's retrofitted with a variety of different things, but all of it's really easily serviceable. It's really built to just be simplistic and not full of electronics and wiring that can get you in trouble. We went with these bigger tires. They're 37 by 13.5. We've got some pretty stout bull bar as well as a kind of a roof rack system. There's actually a ladder to the side of the cab here. The bumper and bar flips down to allow for the cab to flip forward. This is what's called a cab over truck. Basically, you're sitting right above the axle. It's amazing how much access you have to the motor. It makes servicing everything, repairs really, really easy. This here is part of the air conditioning system. I actually bought a complete kind of enclosed air conditioning unit, took it all apart, had custom length hoses fabricated for it, moved the compressor so that I could have a more modular air conditioner. And then next to that, you can actually see our hydronic furnace. So this is an S-Bar gasoline powered furnace that just feeds off of the existing gas tank in the rig. The box is about 14.5 on the outside, and then our overall height is 10.5 feet. So storage boxes, plenty of space. This one here, we kind of house some of our recovery gear as well as tables and chairs. And then we've got a little barbecue set there. And then we've got a simple gravity fill for water and then a 30 amp shore power hookup. Back here, we wanted to have a nice big garage. The whole build was designed around our bikes and having a good, safe, secure spot for them. So both of our bikes fit in there nicely. It was important to us to have all of our plumbing, tanks, and everything on the inside so that we could keep it nice and warm, don't have to worry about things freezing. Here we've got the 50-gallon water tank, and then we have a 17-gallon gray. As far as fuel goes, got a 65-gallon fuel tank, and we've been getting just over 10 miles per gallon, believe it or not. We've got a real nice bumper. We went with the 3-hitch receiver option so that we can mount like a dirt bike or something. It's just gonna be a lot more stable. One of the things we installed at each wheel, we have a Schrader connection so that we can put one of these on each wheel all at once. So all 4 wheels will have one of these pigtails on there. And then we actually control the pressure from back here. So we've got a little regulator with a gauge that we can just dial into the pressure we want. We've got a little switch pad. We used a C-Zone and Master Volt electrical system. Now for the steps, we have these retractable steps, and they stow pretty well. We've had real good luck with them. Solar, we have 1100 watts. And then battery, I actually built myself from just some individual lithium cells we ordered from overseas. And then if we're driving, we have a Sterling DC to DC charger that puts out about 60 amps at 24 volts to charge the battery. All right, let's come inside and I'll show you around. All right, well, welcome to our tiny home here. As you can see, we opted for a bed in the back that's relatively high. The bed actually can go up and down a little bit, and honestly, that's just to help us get to some infrastructure like the water pump and a few other things that are hidden underneath here. So we can pop the bed up to get the stuff easy should we need to repair something. We've got a pretty simple dinette area here with a slide out table. It's got the map on there to keep us inspired. We've got a little microwave there. It's actually an air fryer. We typically use it more for the oven functionality. The electrical system is all basically controlled up here. We're using a C-Zone kind of touch screen, digital switching. Underneath here, we have the 1200 amp hours of battery. And then this side is basically just food storage. Working our way over to the kitchen. Went with kind of a relatively open concept. We have the ability to do some extra countertop up here should we need it, or we'll pull out the table. We went with a little bit bigger sink than we've had in our past builds, and we're really happy with it. We've got an induction cooktop, super happy with that. Low profile. We like to not have to deal with propane. The windows here, these are those turn Overland windows. They've got the integrated screen and shade. Fair amount of cabinet storage. We've got some kind of dry goods storage here. We've got a nice spice rack, roll-out bit. The drawers actually have electromagnetic devices on the back of them. So when the engine's turned on, it charges these magnets and they actually hold the drawers closed while we're driving. And then we have a little bypass switch here should we need to access them when the engine's on. Down here you can actually see our hydronic heating system. And so that's basically taking the heated coolant from that outside furnace that we showed you earlier, and it has a 1-gallon reservoir tank, and then it pumps that heated coolant throughout the camper. As far as the fridge goes, we did opt for like a dedicated freezer space, which we really like. It's a 24-volt fridge. It just runs off electric only. This is actually the inside unit to that AC air conditioning system that we were showing you on the outside. It has dehumidify as well as air conditioning, but it does not heat. We've got a fairly basic shower setup. Across from the shower, we have our composting toilet. We deleted the urine tank part of it, and we actually have that going straight into a tank.
Our plans for continuing with this lifestyle are pretty much limitless. I don't foresee us ever having a large home by any means.
I don't miss our big house at all. And while we were gone in our van, like, we never missed any of the things we had. I would want people to put a lot of value in their interest to see and experience life in a different way and go with that gut feeling.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.